Namaskar. Namaskar to all of you. Today is the auspicious day. Is the second day of the Navaratri. So Navaratri second day means today is the day for Brahmacharini. And this Brahmacharini day means Brahmacharini is giving knowledge, wisdom. So hope Ma Brahmacharini will give us knowledge and wisdom. First, I will request Umaji, Dr. Uma Sharma, our treasurer, national treasurer. She will now start the program with Pratna.
जी नमस्कार रीता जी, हम प्रेयर के साथ आज की प्रार्थना के साथ हम शुरू करेंगे। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किंच जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृधः कस्य सिद्ध्वनं विद्याञ्च यस्तद्वेदो भयं सः अविद्यया मृत्युं तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
थैंक यू उमा जी। हमारा ये प्रोग्राम शांति मंत्र से शुरू हुआ। आज प्रबोधिनी का इनॉग्रल डे है। हमारा जो नेशनल प्रेसिडेंट डॉक्टर सुधा जी तिवारी विल वेलकम यू ऑल। सुधा जी प्लीज।
पूजनीय श्री रंगाहरी जी और शक्ति की मेरी सारी बहनें, आज का दिन बहुत ही मेरे लिए तो शुभ दिन है, क्योंकि प्रबोधिनी का जो विषय है वो दिल के बहुत करीब है। हालांकि हमारा प्लीज म्यूट योर माइक्स प्लीज, प्लीज म्यूट द माइक्स प्लीज। Please mute your mics, please.
Sudha ji, I am muting all. You just unmute yourself. That will be better, huh? Muting all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
सुधा जी आपका
अनम्यूट कीजिए, आप अनम्यूट करके बताइए। नमस्ते अनिल जी।
Yeah. Now am I audible now? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. तो आज का दिन हमारे लिए बहुत ही खास दिन है, क्योंकि आज हम ऐसे एक प्रकल्प का शुभारंभ करने जा रहे हैं, जिसका कि एक साइंटिफिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में थोड़ा कम ही सोच होती है। लेकिन बहुत साल पहले मैंने के.आई. बासु जी को सुना था, जो कि बहुत बड़े साइंटिस्ट हैं और विज्ञान भारती के फाउंडर मेंबर भी हैं। तो उन्होंने व्याख्या की थी कि मॉडर्न साइंस जो है वो 3 बिंदुओं पे टिका हुआ है, एनर्जी, मास एंड वेलोसिटी। उसी तरह से हमारा जो भारतीय विज्ञान है उसमें एनर्जी, मास और वेलोसिटी के साथ साथ आत्मा और मन की भी बात करते हैं। तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि हमारे जो विज्ञान है उसी में अध्यात्म है। और ये तो हम सभी जानते हैं कि जो फिजिकल वर्ल्ड है उसके साथ साथ एक ऐसा सूक्ष्म वर्ल्ड भी है जिसका असर डायरेक्टली हमारे मन पे, हमारे विवेक पे, हमारे आचरण पे और हमारे एटीट्यूड पे पड़ता है, और इससे कोई भी नकार नहीं सकता है। और मुझे लगता है कि चाहे आप कितने भी पद प्रतिष्ठा प्राप्त कर ली हो आपने, या आपने कितना भी धन अर्जित कर लिया हो, लेकिन अगर आप सही में आंतरिक खुशी या खुश रहना चाहते हैं, तो ये विवेक का, अपने एटीट्यूड का सही रहना बहुत ही आवश्यक होता है। और इसी असली खुशी की जो एक एक खोज है, वो उसी का नाम प्रबोधिनी है। और मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ कि कंसेप्ट के बारे में इलाजी और इंदू जी आपको डिटेल में बताएंगे। मैं क्योंकि ये 2-4 शब्द बोलने से अपने को रोक नहीं पाई हूँ, और इसलिए मैं, क्योंकि आज हम जिन महात्मा को सुनने जा रहे हैं उनके पास ज्ञान का भंडार है, और हम बहुत ही खुशनसीब हैं कि आज हमारे बीच रंगाहरी जी हैं, और उनको सुनने का मौका मिलना यानी हमारे लिए बहुत ही हमारे भाग्य का विषय है। तो मैं ज्यादा समय ना लेते हुए मैं सभी का वेलकम करती हूँ इसमें, और जो भी महानुभाव इसमें जुड़े हुए हैं, मैंने देखा नहीं है, तो उन सभी को सादर निमंत्रण, सादर आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में। और मुझे ये बहुत बड़ी उम्मीद है कि इस कार्यक्रम को अटेंड करने के बाद, और ऐसे ही अगले कई कार्यक्रम को अटेंड करने के बाद, हमारे बीच और हमारे सारी सखियों के बीच, हमारी बहनों के बीच एक बदलाव आने की मुझे आशा है। और इसी आशा के साथ मैं माइक रीता जी को देती हूँ।
आप इतना अच्छा से आप वेलकम दिया, और एकदम पॉइंट भी ये सच्ची में याद रखने वाली पॉइंट है। हमारा प्रबोधिनी का एग्जैक्ट जो पॉइंट हम लोग चाहते हैं, आप लोग को बताती हूँ। ये प्रबोधिनी में दायित्व दिया गया हम तीनों को, इलाजी घोष दीदी और इंदु श्रोत्री जी मैडम और मुझे। और ये इलाजी घोष दीदी का इतना नॉलेज, और शी इज एक्सपर्ट इन सो मेनी। शी वाज इन संस्कृत टीचर, professor in a college, but her vast knowledge and her the sporting spirit, it inspires me a lot. तो अभी हिंदी में मैं इला दीदी को बताऊंगी, इला जी घोष बताएंगे व्हाट इज प्रबोधिनी। प्रबोधिनी तो एक नाम दे दिया, और ये हमारा शक्ति का एक नया प्रोजेक्ट है, लेकिन हम लोग का ये सोच प्रबोधिनी कैसे आया, और ये नामकरण भी इला दीदी ने ही किया। हम लोग बहुत कुछ नाम दिया, सबसे पसंद हुआ ये प्रबोधिनी नाम। तो अभी हिंदी में इला दीदी बताएंगे व्हाट इज प्रबोधिनी, मीन्स द कॉन्सेप्ट नोट ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट। इला दीदी प्लीज।
जी, आप सभी शक्तियों को मेरा नमन। आज के हमारे प्रमुख वक्ता सम्मान्य हरि जी को प्रणाम करती हूँ, और प्रबोधिनी के संबंध में जो थोड़ा बहुत हम लोगों ने समझा है उसके संबंध में कुछ बताती हूँ। हम जानते हैं कि हम सभी चेतन प्राणी हैं, और चेतन प्राणी का मुख्य धर्म या लक्षण है ज्ञान, बोध या अनुभूति। यह जो ज्ञान है, यह विषय की दृष्टि से दो प्रकार का होता है। एक ज्ञान बाह्य जगत का ज्ञान, यह जो हमारा संसार है उस संसार का ज्ञान। इसका ज्ञान हम विभिन्न विज्ञानों के माध्यम से, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स, बॉटनी, जियोलॉजी, अर्थ साइंस, भूगोल इत्यादि इत्यादि, जो हमारे नाना प्रकार के शास्त्र हैं, विद्याएं हैं या डिसिप्लिन्स हैं, उनके माध्यम से हम इस बाहरी दुनिया को, बाह्य जगत को जानने, समझने और अनुभव करने का प्रयास करते हैं। दूसरा जो हमारा विषय है ज्ञान का, वह है अंतर जगत या आत्मज्ञान, जिसे हम आत्म अनुभूति भी कह सकते हैं। इसका ज्ञान होता है जिस विद्या के द्वारा, जिस विज्ञान के द्वारा उसे अध्यात्म या दर्शन, फिलोसॉफी कहा गया है हमारे यहाँ। और हमारी संस्कृति में यह माना गया है कि इस आत्मज्ञान को ही प्राप्त करना मानव जीवन का अंतिम और प्रमुख लक्ष्य होता है। हमारे उपनिषद कहते हैं आत्मानम विद्धि, अपने आप को जानो, स्वयं को जानो, क्योंकि इस अंतर जगत को जो जान लेता है वह बाह्य जगत के साथ संतुलन स्थापित करके जीवन को सम्यक रीति से लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त कर सकता है और जीवन यापन कर सकता है। अब यह आत्मज्ञान क्या है, आत्म अनुभूति क्या है, इसके विषय में हमारे उपनिषदों में बहुत विस्तार से गंभीर चर्चाएं हुई हैं। दर्शन में भी इस पर विचार किया गया है। वस्तुतः यह जानना कि हम कौन हैं और एक मनुष्य के नाते हमारे जीवन का लक्ष्य क्या है, यह जो बाह्य संसार है या सारा जो जीव जगत है उसके साथ हमारा क्या संबंध है। क्या हम केवल यह शरीर है जो हमें बाहर से दिखाई देता है, या हम मन, बुद्धि, प्राण, शरीर, इन सब से भी परे जो एक सनातन सत्ता है, जो अनंत शक्ति का स्रोत है, वह आत्म तत्व है। उस आत्म तत्व को जानना ही हमारे यहाँ जीवन का लक्ष्य माना गया। और हमारे यहाँ कहा जाता है कि हम सभी उस परमात्मा के अंश हैं और वह परमात्मा सृष्टि के हर तत्व में व्याप्त है। जब हम वही हैं जो सृष्टि के अन्य प्राणियों में भी है, अन्य तत्वों में भी है, तब हमारी दृष्टि व्यापक होती है। तब यह अनुभव होता है कि फिर किसी के प्रति ईर्ष्या, द्वेष, अहंकार, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, छोटे छोटे स्वार्थ, ये सब क्यों रहें। हम एक स्वस्थ जीवन दृष्टि विकसित कर सकें और हमारी जो नकारात्मक प्रवृत्तियां हैं, जिनसे हमारी ऊर्जा व्यर्थ चली जाती है, उन नकारात्मक प्रवृत्तियों से हम मुक्त होकर सकारात्मकता के साथ इस जीवन को और जगत को समझें, परस्पर एक दूसरे के साथ समुचित व्यवहार कर सकें और एक स्वस्थ, व्यापक और उदार, और जिसे हम सच्ची जीवन दृष्टि कहेंगे, उस सच्ची जीवन दृष्टि के साथ हम अपना और समाज का भी उत्थान कर सकें। इसीलिए यह जो लक्ष्य है, यद्यपि लक्ष्य बहुत बड़ा है, किंतु इस लक्ष्य की ओर कुछ थोड़े से कदम बढ़ाने के लिए इस नए प्रकल्प का प्रवर्तन हुआ है, प्रबोधिनी शक्ति। प्रबोध अर्थात प्रकृष्ट ज्ञान, श्रेष्ठ बोध, जिस बोध को आत्मज्ञान कहा गया है, आत्म अनुभूति कहा गया है, जिस ज्ञान को कहा गया है कि आत्मवत सर्वभूतेषु यह पश्यति स पश्यति, जो अपने ही समान सभी प्राणियों को देखता, समझता और जानता है, उनके सुख दुख को अनुभव करता है, वही सच्चे ज्ञान से, सच्ची दृष्टि से युक्त है। हमारी प्रबोधिनी शक्ति का उद्देश्य इसी आत्मबोध का जागरण है। आज नवरात्र पर्व के द्वितीय दिवस में जब देवी ब्रह्मचारिणी का आह्वान हम कर रहे हैं, ब्रह्म का अर्थ ही होता है ज्ञान, क्योंकि वह निरंतर बढ़ता है, वृद्धि को प्राप्त करता है। तो इस पावन क्षण में मैं यह आशा करती हूँ कि हम सभी के मन में उस आत्मज्ञान की ज्योति ज्योतित होगी। इस आशा के साथ आप सभी को मैं धन्यवाद देती हूँ। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सो मच। इतना सुंदर करके सहज सरलता से आप बताए, लेकिन हमारा जो भगिनी भैया सब है, सब कोई इतना अच्छा हिंदी हम सब समझ नहीं पाते हैं, क्योंकि स्पेशली इन वेस्ट बंगाल we are very one group of Shakti members, and in South Kerala, Chennai, etc. They can follow, but they can't follow this very nice Hindi and fluent Hindi. For them, we thought that we should tell this concept note in English. That English concept note is done by one of our coordinator, Mrs. Indu Shatriji. So now I will request Induji, please, whatever the Ila Didi said, you please speak in English so that everybody can understand what we are going to start. Namaskar. Thank you.
Respected Shri Rangahari Ji, it is our proud privilege to have this opportunity to listen to you, such high esteemed dignitary. My salutation to you, sir, and Sudha Ji, our president, and all the distinguished Shaktis. The question arises, why a new Prakalp? Why a new project, Prabodhini? Before answering this, I would chant some of the lines which would draw focus on the subject. Akhand Brahmand में जो बसा है कण कण में वास जिस आत्मा का है चांद और सूरज में आभास जिसका यही ज्ञान अर्जुन को हरि ने सुनाया यही ज्ञान वेदों में ऋषियों ने गाया जिसे शस्त्र न काटे अग्नि न जलाए बुझाए न पानी हवा न सुखाए वही आत्मा सच्चिदानंदमय He who is in each particle of this universe, whose existence we feel in the sun and the moon. This is the knowledge that Lord Krishna told to Arjuna. This is the knowledge that our sacred Vedas have chanted. He is the blissful pleasure, the state of absolute pleasure. The blissful soul is never cut. By any weapon, fire cannot burn it. Water cannot extinguish it. Air cannot dry it. He is the blissful pleasure, the state of absolute pleasure. As a human being, our main objective is to know ourselves. Knowledge or the state of enlightenment is the virtue or the attribute of consciousness. Man, being the best creature of this universe, has abundance of this quality. This enlightenment is of two types. One related to the outer world, known as Abhyudaya. The other related to the inner world, our spiritual world, that is Nishreyas. It is acquired by spiritual science. The main objective of human beings is to gain both the knowledge. Science is the pursuit of truth outside the world, like physics, chemistry, biology, etc. Spirituality is the pursuit of truth of the inner self, inner world. A person having the knowledge of both these sciences will do his scientific research, achievements, and inventions for the welfare of mankind, which would be classic effort. The aims of Prabodhini is to awaken and to enlighten the inner hidden power of women through this inner science, but with a blend of scientific temper. Who are we? What is the ultimate objectives of us? What is individual consciousness? What is collective consciousness? What is the relation between these two? What is the relation of us to the nature? How can we make healthy and progressive environment and the collective consciousness, eradicating the negative attitude? I'm just repeating the words, negative attitude. What are those negative attitudes? Jealousy, hatred, greed, frustration, destruction, and sadness. Definitely sadness will be there. Wherever there is negative attitude, sadness is automatic. So how can we move forward with positive attitude in our lives? These are some of the basic points, some of the questions on which Shakti Prabodhini is dedicated to get the answers so that our women can enhance their qualities and their capabilities for their own as well as for the development of our Indian society. We would try to find out these answers in Prabodhini. So Prabodhini will work on two folds. One, for the development of own self, and definitely if each individual is like that, our society is going to change. So with this aim, we come forward, and it is all because of all the efforts, cooperation of our all Shaktis. And we are very proud that Mani Ranga Hariji is here, and I'm really very much obliged that he has consented to be here. And I just say, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Really, we are really blessed to have Ranghariji here, because we know what he is. One Karma Yogin, one knowledgeable person with too much confidence. And he is real Hindu, and he can tell anything on our scripture, our ideology, our Hindu concept. He can tell anything, everything. So he has, now I don't want to tell about revered Rangahariji. So I will request only our General Secretary, Professor Dr. Ankita Bohore, please tell us in very short. I know you have 3-4 pages about Rangahariji, but you have little time. Within that little time, you please introduce Mananiya Rangahariji. Please, Ankita.
Thank you, Rita ji. Namaskar. Sabhi ko namaskar. It's my honor to introduce Shri Rangahari ji to our participants. हरि जी जीवन काल में एक लंबा अनुभव है उनको, और उसके कुछ अंश में आप लोगों के सामने प्रस्तुत करूंगी, क्योंकि मैंने उनके बारे में अभी कल से जब मुझे ज्ञात हुआ तो मैंने इतना कुछ पढ़ लिया. उनका पूरा लाइफ साइकिल वाज अ काइंड ऑफ इंस्पायरिंग बुक. मैं इतना कुछ सीखी कि किस तरीके से एक अनुभव हरि जी का जैसे रूप में हमारे सामने आज है वो उपस्थित है. तो उसके कुछ अंश जो मुझे लगा मुझे आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करने चाहिए, मैं आप लोगों के सामने रख रही हूँ. Rangahari ji been All India Bauddhic Pramukh of RSS for 15 years. He belongs to Kochi in southern India. और वर्तमान में आप अखिल भारतीय कार्यकारिणी के सदस्य हैं. आप लगभग 10 भारतीय भाषाओं के ज्ञाता हैं, जिसमें मलयालम, तमिल, संस्कृत, कोंकणी, मराठी, हिंदी, इंग्लिश, बंगाली, गुजराती एंड असमीज हैं. और आपने विविध भाषाओं में लगभग 25 पुस्तकों का लेखन कार्य किया है। Shri Hari ji joined RSS in quite young age of 14. He got inspired by the Sangh ideology, and in that way he got closer to Hindu culture and philosophy, and get indulged in deep reading. And his close association with Swami Agmananda Ji Maharaj, founder of Sri Ramakrishna Advaita Ashram, helped him understand more about Hinduism and its old age culture. Hari ji also worked a lot during emergency time during Indira Gandhi. He owes credit to spread RSS in nook and corner of southern part of India, especially Kerala, under his stewardship as Prant Pracharak. इसके अतिरिक्त जब आप अखिल भारतीय बौद्धिक प्रमुख थे तब आपने संघ के कार्य को सदर्न एशिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी बढ़ाया, और इसी दौरान आपके कई देशों में जैसे नेपाल, म्यांमार, इंडोनेशिया, मलेशिया, थाईलैंड, हांगकांग, सिंगापुर, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, फिजी, न्यूजीलैंड जैसे कंट्रीज में आपका विजिट हुआ. और अपार्ट फ्रॉम संघ, श्री हरि जी इज आल्सो एसोसिएटेड विद भारतीय शिक्षण मंडल, विद्या भारती, साहित्य परिषद, और वर्तमान में हरि जी in spite of his adverse health, he's continuing inspiring Swayamsevaks with his humorous talks, Bodhiks, and from books. And in fact, शक्ति के लिए भी आप एक बहुत बड़े मार्गदर्शक हैं. हमें इनफैक्ट हमारे अंदर ये जो प्रबोधिनी का ये जो एक आइडिया क्लिक हुआ, वो भी आप ही के इंस्पिरेशन से हुआ. और आज हम सब प्रिविलेज्ड हैं, ऑनर फील कर रहे हैं कि आप हमारे साथ हैं. एंड इसी के साथ हो सकता है मैंने कुछ अपने बुद्धि से जो मैंने कोशिश की आपके लाइफ के थोड़े से अंश अपने बहनों के समक्ष रखने के लिए, अगर इसमें कोई त्रुटि हो तो इसके लिए मैं क्षमा प्रार्थी हूँ. और बड़ी आत्मीयता और सम्मान के साथ मैं हरि जी से आग्रह करूंगी कि आज हमारे प्रबोधिनी प्रकल्प के इस शुरुआती दिन में जो एक गूढ़ विषय है, इंडिविजुअल कॉन्शियसनेस टू कलेक्टिव कॉन्शियसनेस, इस पे हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें. और हम हमेशा प्रयासरत रहेंगे कि जिस उद्देश्य से ये प्रकल्प शुरू हुआ है, हम आपके मार्गदर्शन में इसमें सफलता हासिल करें. माननीय हरि जी.
Thank you so much, Ankita ji. Ankita ji, in a nutshell, said what Hari ji is. Hari ji is one living encyclopedia. So already you all know he wrote so many books. He authored so many books, and all are unique. I got chance to read 2 or 3. So I'm requesting all of you go through these books, and really his explanation is really unique. So with my humble request and Shashtang Pranam, I'm requesting Hari ji to speak on individual consciousness to collective consciousness. So we will be mesmerized, we all know, and we will learn a lot. And our Prabodhini, this project, will get a new light through his talk. Pranam Hari ji. अनम्यूट कर लीजिए हरि जी. हरि जी, आप अनम्यूट करके अभी बताइए. अनम्यूट कर लीजिए, आप म्यूट हो. आप म्यूट हो गया, अनम्यूट कर लीजिए. हाँ,
okay.
हाँ हाँ, okay, okay. Thank you.
All right.
I'm eagerly waiting to listen to you.
I consider myself very fortunate to get my first chance to speak during the second day of Mahanavaratri. Secondly, the topic that is given to me during this holy Parva is regarding consciousness. And thirdly, I was very, very happy to know the rationale behind the work of esteemed organization or attempt called Prabodhini. And along with my prayers, I congratulate you and especially request God to give you all success in future in this sacred endeavor. Sisters, consciousness is the very essence of life. The entire creation is nothing if consciousness is removed. So consciousness is the first throb of creation. It is said the primordial force called Param Shakti developed in its, if I say mind, it will be wrong, developed within a thought to multiply one into many. And consequently, creation came into existence. So in the entire creation, even if it is inert, entire charachar, according to our darshan, it has within consciousness. It is the consciousness that creates any item of creation. This is the importance of consciousness. Coming directly to human society, in human society also, we have got our working instruments called limbs, various organs. Similarly, we have got, along with organs, our body. But these organs, body, which is made of 5 elements, amounts to nothing if consciousness is absent. So that consciousness is called in Sanskrit aham. So mano buddhyahankara chittani naham. So man is there, buddhi is there, chitta is there, but without the first motive force called consciousness or aham, everything is dead. So in short, what is the difference between living organism and dead organism? It is the absence of this consciousness. So as we are born as the humans, every individual, man or woman, is provided with the consciousness, and consciousness makes us what we are. And this consciousness, if you properly analyze, slowly and slowly it evolves, progresses, develops, enlarges, and ultimately it can encompass within the entire cosmos. So, when one is born, he is only an individual man. When I say man in my speech today, it includes woman also, mankind. So first, our existence is individual man. Slowly it develops into family man. Further it develops into societal man. And if we differentiate various angles of societal existence, it may be caste man, it may be village man, it may be town man, various levels, but level is normally society. So individual man develops into family man develops into societal man, and if he thrives hard and works on right lines, he develops himself into a national man, and further finally a universal man. So man has got, you need not restrict yourself to what I have said, 3 or 4. We can find for ourselves individual man to societal man to national man to universal man. And that is the progress which we come across. And according to this, or this to be successful, his consciousness has to develop correspondingly. So it is the consciousness that makes a man, whether he is individual, family, societal, or national. But helplessly, as a plan of creation, every one of us has to be born as an individual man. As soon as we are born, till a particular age, we cannot and we do not think of any other person except ourselves. Small born. What are his needs? He or she knows. And mother also knows. And they are fulfilled. Slowly he gets up, he grows up. Then also these individual needs continue. But then along with that, inner qualities develop. He smiles at his mother. Mother smiles at him. And earlier, mother fed him with breast milk and breast milk alone. But when he grows up and he develops a taste and the teeth have come out, then something else mother gives. He stretches his hand and he takes. After some time, you see how natural it is, how naturally this consciousness develops. A boy or a girl of his own age comes near him and he is eating something without instruction from mother or nurse. He stretches it to that boy or girl also. Now, who prompts him? Till this time, whatever he got, he was only receiving, without any instruction. As he grew up, and as he grew one of his own kind, whom he may not know or recognize, but there is an inner feeling in him that as I consume, taste, and relish this part of creation, a reflection of myself in front of me, it can also relish. So this feeling grows in a child naturally. This feeling grows, meaning from individual consciousness, slowly this consciousness develops, slowly. And in this way, I will not dilate upon this point because you must have understood. And slowly, when he knows the meaning of words, who is my father, who is my mother, who is my chacha, uncle, who is my cousin, then his world grows and he feels happy in their company. Now, you just analyze what is the state of consciousness at that time when he feels himself as one among many who are living in that family. So consciousness, individual consciousness develops into family consciousness. And this family consciousness also is assimilating. When he grows, if a girl at the age of 20, 21 or 22, if a boy at the age of 25, 28, he brings counterpart called wife or husband. Actually, they don't belong to his blood group, but he brings them within his circle and both are together one. So that is the family. So from individual man to family man develop. And what exactly is the change? Individual consciousness has become family consciousness. And when change, how change is felt? Suppose he has passed his MA or PhD and he gets a good job, very good job. He doesn't think of himself alone. He thinks of his family, the welfare of his family when he accepts the job. And he says, if acceptance of this job will not be favorable to my family, better for me to reject it. He is entitled by his education. He deserves it, but he rejects it because for family welfare, it will not be conducive. So, family consciousness is definitely larger, definitely of larger, longer radius, and his circle becomes family circle. And the difference comes due to development of consciousness. And those who have not developed this consciousness, they are termed as a selfish people, which is not a good word. Individual consciousness can be selfish consciousness as well as a non-selfish individual consciousness. But normally, at the direction of development, normal development is non-selfish consciousness. That is also a gift of God. So when we grow, any one of us will experience. If it is, now many of you belong to Bengal, some of you belong to Maharashtra. Suppose you go outside your native place or province, and if you go to Singapore, and if I am a Malayali, and during my travel, I find a Malayali whom I did not know or do not know or cannot know in future, but immediately there is a rapport, there is a relationship. I overhear him speaking Malayali to his friend. Without introduction, I directly go, from which part of Kerala you are? Oh, you are Kerala. From which part? Then we become together. It is most natural. Most natural. What is the consciousness that works here? Is it individual consciousness? No. Is it family consciousness? No. It is a societal consciousness. So whether it is regarding province, whether it is regarding a language, whether it is belonging to a caste, we need not worry now about casteism, whether it is good or bad. We are now analyzing the scientific development of our psyche, mind. So when we go and meet a person of our own group, whatever may be the group, language, province, anything, we feel he is ours. With caste also. So this caste consciousness, provincial consciousness, By itself, they are not wrong. It is the part of the development of consciousness. You can't help it. You can't help it. Now, suppose I meet a person and I open my mouth in his language. He feels attached to me. What is wrong in it? So the development of consciousness, societal consciousness. Then societal consciousness, it is given importance by some great men, and they sidetrack or they marginalize family consciousness. Family consciousness. Very good persons, family men, but they many times do not look to the welfare of that family in relation to the welfare of the society for which they have chosen to work. Here, the development of consciousness you must see. So there are so many persons. There are so many persons. Now you see, I was introduced as a pracharak. Individual consciousness I have got. My own father, mother, brothers-in-law, family consciousness I have got. But comparatively, I chose for a bigger consciousness without rejecting this smaller consciousness. I want to underline without rejecting the lower one. So they become social workers. Who is a social worker? A person who works for the society. If a social consciousness is there in everybody, everybody can be social worker, but one does not. When he chooses to work for society, keeping aside his family demands, knowing very well his family will suffer to some extent, and family men also know because of this man has chosen social work and we are going to suffer to some extent. With this close understanding, when a person in relation to family consciousness chooses social consciousness and become a social worker, he can be called a social reformer, social leader. That consciousness, not to nullify the earlier consciousness. In relation to the former, he receives the later one, which he considers bigger and would fulfill his life's mission. So, social consciousness. Now, this social consciousness, as I earlier said, it can be limited to, if I tell about a Kerala social reformer or Bengali social reformer, Maharashtra social reformer, his the field of work is that particular province. So his consciousness is limited as a social worker to that province alone. With all respect, let us think of Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar worked not for himself, not for his family, but for the education of chiefly, mainly Bengalis in those days. So his consciousness is at best social consciousness, the expense of which is Bengal. Similarly, Maharshi Karve, education of women in Maharashtra. He had chosen the field Maharashtra. So his level of consciousness is Prantiya, is provincial. So they are not that they are in any way bad or less. They are as good as any big man. But they for themselves chose the field and accordingly their consciousness developed accordingly. And if you further analyze, not to blame them psychologically, an educationist social reformer of Maharashtra was not as much worried regarding Kerala education as of his own province. To that extent, the consciousness limited. Though it is larger, then family consciousness. Then further you go, that social consciousness further develops into whole national consciousness. National consciousness. Now Mahatma Gandhi was born in Gujarat, but without explaining now, consciousness level definitely national and perhaps universal. So his consciousness is developed. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, what is his level of consciousness? National consciousness. So when once our Pujaniya Guruji of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, when he was speaking, he used to speak to us in English because we never understood Hindi in those days. Then he said once, to create a man, freedom fight, to create a manly nation, we should create national men. Two words interplaced. For Bharat to become a manly nation, in Bharat there should be national men. How beautiful! To create a manly Bharat, to create a manly nation, instead of national man, if he is individual man, if he is a selfish man, and if he is provincial man, can manly nation be built? So to build a manly nation, national man should be there. And who is this national man? Any man outwardly, whatever be his level of consciousness, he has got 2 hands, 10 fingers, 2 legs, 1 nose, outwardly same, but the difference is exactly within. His consciousness develops. Consciousness develops. This consciousness develops a further national man. Now, I will, every one of us has got national consciousness. Every patriot worth the name has to be nationally conscious. Has to be nationally conscious. Now, I am in Kerala. When our brethren, a businessman in Kashmir, is shot, I feel unhappy. Sorry, but I don't know that person. I have not seen his face. Whether his complexion is dark or fair, I don't know. And I'm sure I will not be meeting him in my future life if he had been alive. But I feel sorry when that man is shot. Why should I feel sorry? Suppose a rationalist asks me, Hariji, who is it to you? None. Have you seen him? No. Will you be seeing him? No. Then why you are feeling sorry? But there is a connection of minus. I feel he is mine. That mamatva is there. What is the level of that mamatva? It is a rashtriya. It is a national. Suppose he was not my national. You just think about yourself also. Suppose an Afghan is killed. Do I feel as much as I felt about that Kashmiri's death? Honestly not. Honestly. Not to argue, because my consciousness is limited to national circle. Such people are called national men. So the national men, if they are more in a nation, that nation will prosper. In a nation, up to 135 crores are there. 135 crores. Suppose 60% are national men or national women. Bharat will become number one in the Committee of Nations. Suppose 60% are individual men, good men, men of character, honest, but individual level, they can be easily colonized again. That was the difference between the colonial Bharat and the independent Bharat. When Bharat was part of British colony, we had a 30 crores population. But these 30 crores were individualists, individual men. At best, social men, but never national men. But slowly Mahatma Gandhi came on the scene. Lokmanya Tilak came on the scene. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose came on the scene. So many great, brilliant, illustrious persons came on the scene. And they injected into us, inculcated into us national consciousness. So this national consciousness came out of the 30 crores of individual consciousness people, the percentage grew, and the partition of Bengal had to be nullified by those who partitioned Bengal in 1906. What was the difference? Population, number of population remaining same, number of those nationally conscious increased. So to the degree the national consciousness increases, to that proportion the nation proposes. Now you just see the case. If I just, perhaps you may agree or you may not agree, but that is apart. I feel the highest percentage of national consciousness men will be in Israel. That is my feeling. What a small country. How small a population. Round about all antagonistic forces, determined to wipe them off from the face of the earth. But fighting, every man is a fighter. So the amount of national men will be maximum, according to me, in Israel. To that extent, suppose Bharat grows, then will there be scams? Will there be persons who cheat the nation and go abroad? These Neeraj Modis and Vijay Mallyas will be there. Are they national men? Are they social men? They are individualist men, selfish to the core. Such men are cursed to the nation. So this national consciousness has to be developed. National consciousness. And that precisely is the immediate work of Prabodhini, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and all. So Guruji said, develop individual man to societal man and further to national man. So this national man become Rashtriya Purush, Rashtriya Stri. Then their angle of vision, their objects of vision, and their range of mission, these things increase and they become a blessing to a growing country. So this should be there. Then according to Bharatiya Darshan, that is also a step. But ultimately, every man's mission is to become part of the creation. Tatvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. Ultimately, we have to become inseparable part of the ultimate creation from which we evolved out. That is our ultimate aim. So Tatvamasi, you are the part of that infinite power. Realize it. So ultimately, man has to identify himself with creation beyond the humans. Everybody. Such a total identification should be there. It is said, Thakur Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, in his life, it is not said, it was the experience of them. During his days, he had with soul power identified himself to the entire creation. So one day it so happened, in a nearby farm, a farmer was thrashing the bullock, and Ramakrishna saw it. He shrieked immediately with pain. Then afterwards it is said, in the back of his, there part of that caning. Bull was elsewhere, and that plover was elsewhere. But when he shrieked, he identified with him so much that that pain appeared as marks in his back. Such persons are called in Bhagavad Gita Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. That is the technical word in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. They are the Atma of the Sarva Bhuta of the Panchabhutas. To become Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma, very rare. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. In our life, we are seeing Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So this is the universal or cosmic consciousness. How from this I consciousness to collective consciousness, that collective development, I have told you. Now, very interestingly, I will tell you what I have thought for myself and I have found for myself. We speak of Vishwarupa Darshan in Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter is Vishwarupa Darshan. In the 10th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna said to Arjuna, Arjuna, Ahamatma Gudakeshaha. I am the soul, Gudakesh, Arjun. I am the Parama Atma. Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. I am present in every element and every part of creation. Antascha, Bahishcha, Madhyancha. I am in the middle, I am in the beginning, I am in the end, I am part of the entire item of creation. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. This is said in Bhagavad Gita. So Arjun thought, to hear it is fine, but I want to see it. So he requested Bhagavan, I want to see it. Can I see it? And practical minded Arjun says, if I may be able to see it, please permit me and show it. Then Krishna said, okay, you can see it. But he said, here, please remember the topic of ours when I am going to tell. He said, Arjun, you can see it, but not with this vision, this sight, this charma chachu. It has to, I have to provide you with a divine sight. So, divyam dadamite chachu. You can see it, but for that, a different vision. The different ken of vision is required. That I will give you. And he was given that divine vision. When he was given divine vision, you have to see how interesting and how happy we become. In that body of Sri Krishna, with the peacock feather and a makuta on the top, and the reins in the hand and horses behind. In that figure, he totally forgot that figure when he got that consciousness and he saw the entire universe, the cosmic universe. What was the change? It was the vision that he got, which showed him the consciousness. Now, in the term of consciousness, what would you say? We can definitely say Krishna provided him with the cosmic consciousness, and that is the depiction of Vishwarupa Darshan. He saw this, he saw that, 1,000 hands, 1,000 feet. He saw that that is poetic imagination and explanation. But the entire essence is in Sri Krishna's body. He said the entire universe, not only universe, the plan of the creator. Those who are working for evil, whether they are Bhishma, Drona or Karna, I have killed them all before you tried. The moment I was born on this earth, their work is over. Now you simply become an instrument. That is what he says. This was all known to him when his consciousness was highly expanded to cosmic expansions. So Vishwarupa Darshan is the development, is the story of the development of individual consciousness to cosmic consciousness, provided by the benign blessing of the creator to Arjuna. So that is the consciousness. And when he saw that all, and afterwards, when he recollected himself, he was so afraid and said, enough, 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 Krishna. Now you please be Krishna of mine before me. Immediately, Manusham Rupam, that human form, Krishna showed him. So it is the realization of universal consciousness of Arjuna which is depicted in Vishwarupa Darshan. Please try to read that 12th, 11th chapter with this angle. Otherwise, it is merely poetic, in a way less meaningful. 55 shlokas are there, 55 shlokas. 33 are spoken by Arjuna, 33. 14 by Krishna, and only 7 by Sanjaya. Krishna has spoken very clearly, and he has only blessed him. No tattva is told by Krishna in that. He replies to Arjuna only, and Arjuna speaks. But Arjuna speaks what? About his collective consciousness, about his universal consciousness. So to that extent, we have to take. And from that point of view, you evaluate Mahatma Gandhi. Was he not really a universe? Was not his consciousness of universal level? Far, far larger than ours. So today he is respected by the whole world. Swami Vivekananda, why is he respected throughout the world? Wherever he went, they felt here is our man. Every American felt he is our man. So without knowing, in a house where an elder man and elderly lady was there with 4 marriageable age ladies, this brahmachari was given a resort in America. So they saw in him a universal man. They saw in him. So he could criticize them without fear or favor, and nobody misunderstood him. So he is a universal man. Right Shishya of a right Guru, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So all these sannyasins were universal men. Their consciousness was universal. Vyasa Bhagavan. What is consciousness level? Universal consciousness. To that extent, our rishis reach. We also can reach. But in the practical world of today, 21st century, national consciousness is the limit which is within our vision today. So this development of consciousness, I consciousness to we consciousness, or I consciousness to collective consciousness. And for this, Nivedita has given a very fine word, corporate individuality. How nice. Only a lady who is born and brought up in English can coin such words. Corporate individuality. Apparently contradictory. Individual and corporate. Corporate is samuhik. Individual is vayaktik. How can Vayak be Samuhik and Samuhik be Vayaktik? But no. Corporate individuality, Samuhik Vyaktitva. Samuhik Vyaktitva. Oh, this is Samuhik Vyaktitva can be Kautumbik, can be Samajik, can be Rashtriya, can be Sarvalaukik, can be Sarva Srishtiparak. So this development of level is the level development of consciousness. So to come back to the topic of my topic and conclude, from I to we, from aham to vayam, that is the line of progress we have to go. And for this, right type of samskaras should be there. But I cannot be totally wiped off. So it begins from I. So in Sanskrit, first person, second person, third person is there. In English, I is first person. You is second person. He or she is third person. So first, second, third. But in Sanskrit, aham is called Uttama Purusha. He is called Prathama Purusha. Tvam is called Madhyama Purusha. So I concentrate on Uttam. Without that, life is dead. So aham, as I told you, aham, without that, but that aham develops, and it becomes so wide. And so to conclude, the aham nature is called mama, mine. Mine is in Sanskrit called mama, aham. Aham avam vayam. Mama me avayo hovam asmakam naha. Mama means mine. So mamatva means mine. Mamata. Mamatva. Mine. Nirmama means not mine. Nirmama. So the last advice of Bhagavan Krishna to Yudhishthira when he was going back to Dwaraka, afterwards he never returned to Hastinapura. That was the last darshan of Yudhishthira of Sri Krishna. And from the chariot of Sri Krishna, he advises Yudhishthira a very good shloka. Ye. Advaksharam. 2 letters are mrityu. Traksharam cha shashvatam. 3 letters are perennial, everlasting. Dvaksharam tu bhavet mrityuhu. Traksharam brahma shashvatam. Krishna says to Yudhishthira, 2 letters, you meet death with it. 3 letters, you attain Brahma Shashvat, eternal life you reach. But what are these 2 letters and 3 letters? It is just like a paradox. Then Krishna adds, Mama iti bhavet mrityuhu. Na mama iti shashvatam. When you take the attitude of mama, individual consciousness, selfish consciousness, you limit yourself within and refuse to grow an inch outside, you are dead. But you expand to infinite degree and become part of the entire creation, you live eternally. So the journey of consciousness from I consciousness to finally collective consciousness is the right journey expected of man, and man is created rightly for that. With these words, I think I should conclude, and I very much thank you because you gave me a worthy attention. Thank you all.
We are really spellbound. Really. There is no word to express our gratitude to you. Whatever I think, this is also I, Thakur Sri Ramakrishna said. So when we will say I, then you can't remove I. So try to make it the ripe I. He said kacha ami to paka ami. That what Rangahari ji said. The individual I, individual consciousness to this collective consciousness. And this is true. When we write ME, if we turn that English ME, that will be WE, we. So me too, we. And another thing, when I was listening this, I can visualize one thing that I want to share with you. That is the I, capital I, is very aham, 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 ami, ami, मैं, ऐसा करने से. So I become that individual I, that small I. But when, so that's what small I is, the selfish. We used to say, na, he or she is very selfish. But what he said, this selfish, the self-ish ho jata hai, becomes self-ish. That is that I, that ripe I, that individual consciousness to collective consciousness. And what Rangahari ji said, that what is Krishna said to Arjuna, showed to Arjuna, that is the Daiva Drishti. We can see, Arjuna, Krishna said, you can see with this eye, Indriya eye. So that is Daiva Drishti. I'm giving you to see me. So after that, the Stava Krishna did it excellent. What his feeling he was, Arjuna said to Krishna. So really, we all are now selfish, but this Prabodhini will take us to self-ish. Aham Brahmasmi Tat Tvamasi. We will achieve with the blessing of Rangahari ji, with the blessing of Bharatma, with the blessings of our gurus and ishtas. Thank you so much. My pranam to you. So now the time for the interaction with revered Rangahari ji. If you have any question, if you want to discuss anything, so this is your turn. Just raise your hand, just use this reaction button and unmute until one after another, please.
Harrieta, namaste, Bindu.
हाँ, please, I'm waiting. हाँ, अनम्यूट कीजिए, ये वीडियो भी थोड़ा दिखाइए.
ये आज के इस आत्म प्रबोध के बाद हम आगे का जो नेक्स्ट जो कदम रखना है उसके बारे में आपका एक सुझाव चाहते हैं. ये एक मूवमेंट हो रहा है, एक पड़ाव में हम शुरुआत कर रहे हैं, तो ये एक बहुत अच्छा है. यानी कि जैसे कि उपदेश के साथ अभी अर्जुन जी को जो आगे बढ़ने का एक मार्ग मिला, ऐसा आपके इस उद्बोधन के साथ हमें मिला है. तो नेक्स्ट क्या है, थोड़ा आपका सुझाव लेना चाहते हैं.
मेरा
जी 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 जी
एकदम.
But to develop this consciousness, first we have to decide, and slowly small programs which would evolve ourselves as well as develop ourselves. For example, helping others. As we work, our consciousness develops. It is just like practical giving us life vision. Small things, visiting hospitals, small thing, finding out poor children and educating them. And those who have no money to spare, but they have got education, a private tuition class in one's house, a private tuition class. Similarly, some advisory bodies, just like we are now, a consultancy is there, what is called, what is it called, a confession, giving advice to them, paramarsh, it is there.
Counseling.
So such things. Pardon?
Is it counseling?
Please.
Is it counseling?
Counseling. So people are in need of these things. And among us, there are so many persons who are educated, and we can choose our own field. And we should think of others. Then naturally, we will develop our consciousness. So when you expand, our consciousness expands. So that vision should be there. Vision. Now, when this vision is given, now you just see, I was telling you about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. One of the closest devotees of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was Girish Chandra Ghosh. In modern parlance, his earlier life was a moral wreck. He was a drama writer, and in those days, ladies of not high repute were his actresses. But Ramakrishna did not hate him. Ramakrishna saw what was Girish Chandra Ghosh's consciousness. Not only individualistic, less than that, defective. But Ramakrishna Paramahamsa came into his contact, and slowly, ultimately, he became one of the most devoted Grihastha disciples of Ramakrishna. So Ramakrishna developed him by contact. So contact also is required. So some type of social work, which we should not bite more than what we can chew. That should be there. Because of enthusiasm, if we attempt to bite more than we can chew, one thing we cannot chew, and we will suffer from diarrhea. So slowly work enters, and then we can actually develop this. Now you just see, I am nowadays an ardent student of Mahabharata nowadays. I was already. So you just see, you just think, for I am telling a new point. What was the difference between Kunti and Gandhari? Gandhari, they say, because of chastity, Pativratya, she blindfolded herself and lived as a blind woman. Was it a right action?
No.
Husband being blind and the children being 100, it is more duty. More of the duty has fallen upon me because of my husband's blindness, and I have to compensate for his blindness. So I have to be over vigilant to bring up this 100, not 1 or 2. If she had chosen that light and she had opened her eyes all through, especially because her husband was born blind. So to compensate the natural blind of the husband, if she was over vigilant, would this Duryodhana and 100 have been so degraded? What was the role of mother in building up those 100 children?
Yeah.
Let us see that. For them, practically no mother existed, and they were thrown to winds. They could enter any, do any mischievous action. Father not seeing because born blind. Mother not seeing because of her attitude of Pativritya. What Pativritya it is? Actually, she should have compensated husband. But what did Kunti do? Husband lost. Co-wife lost. And her own 2-3 children and the co-wife's 2 children. 5 given to her. And away from Hastinapura. And throughout life, she brought them up. Throughout life. So their vision developed a consciousness. That how she developed the consciousness, you just see. When they were staying in forest, in a house of a Brahmin, and it was the turn of the Brahmin to supply man as well as food to Bakasura, and he had only one son. It is Kunti who says, you need not worry, we are staying with you. I have got 5 sons. I will send one of my sons to him to get devoured by that Bakasura. What happened later, we did not. But what was the step taken? What was the imprint on Bhima? Those who protect us should be protected by us, even at the cost of my life. So the consciousness developed. And who developed the consciousness? Kunti developed. So some such actions of ours will be very helpful.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I think we are getting a way ahead. सुधा जी, इला जी, आप लोग के तरफ से भी और जो भी सुन रहे हैं, अपना वैल्यूएबल क्वेश्चंस पूछिए, ये हमको प्रबोधिनी में आगे बढ़ने में सहायक होगा. आप अपना सोच रखिए और बताइए आपके मन में क्या है सब जन.
Now I also would like to take some little, so it will be very kind of you if you free me for further strain.
Oh, you are very tired. Have little water and 2 minutes. Is there anybody who wants to ask anything or who wants to clear your doubt or ask anything regarding this consciousness?
Not only doubts, suggestions to go ahead.
And also the suggestions, what Binduji asked, that is very true and very good question. This is also our food for thought for this project, Prabodhini. So if you do not have anything to ask, already Mananiya Rangahari ji is tired, so we will tell him to take a little rest. So we don't want, we want, okay, till last you be with us, no need to talk, but you be with us. Your presence is itself, Prabodhini, itself collective consciousness. So,
okay. Rita ji, आगे बढ़िए.
So this is the question answer. There is no one who will ask any question. So that is.
I have one question, ma'am. Just want to know, do you have thought any workshop or session how we can increase our conscious level?
Yes, yes, definitely. Our Mananiya Rangahari ji is our advisor. So what he said, how to increase our consciousness, he said, give something without expecting anything, because expectation always hurts. Go to hospital, visit unknown, not your friends or family or your known, unknown person, meet them, wish for them, and give something to them. Like that, little thing, what he said very nicely, if we will jump for the collective consciousness now, we don't know in which class, in which level we are. Everybody's level is very different. If I can say in class, maybe I am class 1, you are in class 10, but the collective consciousness and Aham Brahmasmi is the PhD or delete level. So in class 3, if Mananiya Ranghari ji will give us this, so ye stomach upset ho jayega, what he said.
Yes.
So we have to know the introspection. Am I
we will
selfless like
discuss
that?
about the further programs, Rita ji. We will
Yes, yes,
discuss
that
what type
we
of
will-
programs will be taken. We will discuss it,
and
then
I
there
can-
we will decide. Okay.
yes, the workshop and program that will be.
Programs and
Anyway,
workshops we will decide.
shall
We
I
have to
withdraw?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
I will
Yes.
leave.
Two minutes.
Right.
2 minutes. Thank you so much. We do not have any words. Words are very much limited to thank you. We are expressing our gratitude from Shakti, from Prabodhini group, from individual I, from collective I. We are grateful to you and we wish for your long, happy, healthy and life with wisdom, because the society will get benefited from your knowledge. So
Thank you.
thank you so much. I'm conveying from all of us our collective pranam to your lotus feet. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we will be in touch with you. So we will do every month at least one program like that. And we will be in touch with you. Thank you so much.
आगे बढ़िए रीता जी, चले गए हैं वो.
Happy Puja and happy Navaratri to you all. And I am requesting whosoever is there, hope you all enjoyed a lot. You got your food for thought. And I am especially on behalf of Prabodhini Group, are very much grateful to you because you are here. Because
Rita ji,
this program
we have to have last prayer.
हाँ बस because of prayer का एक sentence था, एक मिनट. प्रबोधिनी में patience भी बहुत जरूरी होता है. तो we pray for everybody's well-being, happiness and healthy life. Now this is the concluding part, the Shanti Mantra. The Shanti Mantra will be chanting by our National Shakti Secretary, Dr. Leena Wagrekar. Leena ji, please. After this Shanti Mantra, we will conclude this thing. We will leave.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे